All right, in today's video, we're going to be talking about the ROI of hiring globally, how Central Eastern Europe and Latin America compare to hiring in the States or Canada or the United Kingdom. This is you have the question of what is that actual ROI of hiring globally? So let's jump into it. There's two main scenarios, right? Ted, he's a first-time founder, generally smaller agencies, startups, those types of things. And then Sarah, C-suite of a 50-plus headcount company. When we're working together with individuals, they fall into kind of one or two buckets. Larger corporations where they need to fill strategic gaps, and then first-time founders where they're trying to remove themselves and grow their company rapidly. Ted has a series of problems. First, he's stuck in different parts of his business. The second is he's unable to scale. And the third, he thinks he just needs to work harder. That's what all the gurus have been telling him. Just work harder, or sign up for this lead gen course, or do this special tactic and you'll just grow your business magically. There's really only one solution in this scenario, especially given that he's already at 15K per month of revenue, and it's higher, right? We all have the same amount of time during the day. The only way we're actually going to be able to build leverage and get more done and actually build a company is by hiring out certain sections of the work inside of our company. So Ted, he's seeing some success. He's relatively successful, but his company's still pretty small in the grand scheme of things. 15K a month, about 180K a year. So how do we figure out what Ted should hire for, but more importantly, what is that budget, right? If we want to figure out what Ted should hire for, him doing a time audit, actually tracking his time over a period of minimum 72 hours or 3 days to really understand what tasks he's doing will allow us to figure out what tasks should be outsourced and what should be kept as a founder level task. We'll get more into that in a little bit, but I want to talk about the math behind outsourcing. With this, let's say we have 180K, that's what he's doing per year. There's 2,080 working hours, so his hourly rate is going to be about $86 an hour. There's two types of tasks that Ted is doing. There's revenues creating / founder tasks, and then there's non-revenue producing tasks / client fulfillment, right? The idea behind this is we want this second group of tasks, the non-revenue producing tasks and the client fulfillment, to eventually be outsourced or done by another party. The revenue and founder level tasks should only be focused on by Ted. These types of tasks include sales, marketing, anything that needs Ted's expertise. A lot of first-time founders, they just want to outsource sales and marketing, outsource all those types of things. Maybe they don't like sales calls or whatever it may be. Maybe they just want to do client fulfillment. And this is kind of that wrong method of thinking. The sales and the marketing side of things, especially when you're this small of a company, it's very, very important that you as the founder stay in control of that section so you can rapidly test and get that product market fit. Here, we're still a little bit more on the lucky side of business. You can build a business off of referrals and warm contacts to 15K a month. It doesn't take much cold outbound. With this, if he really wants to actually grow his company, he's going to have to hire and start outsourcing. The tasks that are not revenue producing tasks or the client fulfillment types of tasks, these could be outsourced for $10, $12, $15 an hour, depending on the types of roles. Maybe it's a video editing agency and he has video editing he needs to outsource. Maybe it's a cold email lead generation agency and he actually needs to outsource that inbox management and the delivery of those results. Maybe it is an email design or webflow design agency and he can outsource that design aspect, enabling him to focus on those founder level tasks and those revenue generating tasks. If he gets more than half of his time back, he's going to be able to double his business because he can just focus on the revenue producing tasks and those things that actually move the needle forward. And as Ted scales, all he needs to do is just keep repeating this process at different levels of his company. So maybe it's like Eamon, where he has the video editors and he has 1, then he gets 2, then he gets 3, and he has a manager of these editors to run this editing team. That's a way that you can scale fulfillment. For each agency and business, it's going to look a little bit different depending on the industry and niche they're in and how they end up delivering their results. So at this point, we've already talked about Ted. We figured out that ROI on hiring for him. He's going to be able to actually grow and scale his business significantly now that he just focuses on these revenue producing tasks. Let's jump into helping Sarah, the C-suite executive, with a 50 plus headcount with her company. The problems Sarah is facing are very, very common for a company of her size. The first are those rising costs she has to deal with. Second are those shrinking profit margins. Third, local talent is just not the same anymore with that productivity level and that work ethic. And then fourth, productivity is actually slowing. And it's been on the decline for a couple of years now, according to the Bureau of Labor Management here in the States. Let's look at a solution for all four of these problems. Let's take a look at a real-world scenario. This IT data analyst position was a real one that we staffed for one of our IT clients based in San Diego. When we look at the salary, this is off of Glassdoor. This is the average salary for an IT data analyst in San Diego, California. It's about $94,000 a year, about $45 an hour. When we compare that to Poland, where we actually hired from, that's $37,000 a year, $18 an hour. It's about 40% cheaper. So obviously from the economic side, it's very, very attractive, but let's kind of break this down. Look at some of the reasons we decided to hire in Poland instead of San Diego. One is going to be the economic side, right? It's just much more expensive to hire here in San Diego. The second is the productivity side. According to the Bureau of Labor, productivity has been waning in the several years past this pandemic, and so it's going down. We don't want to keep hiring when we're getting less bang for our buck and we're not actually getting a return on our investment of human capital. When we look at Poland, let's say we hire someone, this person's going to be excited to work for a U.S. company and work in the U.S. market. They want to stay working for a U.S. company. They want to keep working with you. And so they will want to prove their competency and make sure that they keep their role. So not only is there that economic advantage when you're hiring here in Poland, Central, Eastern Europe, but also there's that work ethic side of it as well. So this is that solution when we look at hiring globally for her problems. If we want to see a little bit more of a case study on a real world scenario, this was done by some graduate students at Stanford. A tech company shifted their developer team from the Bay Area in California to Poland. So we can see that before they kind of restructured their organization, the cost was $12.3 million per year. After it, there was a 40% drop in cost when they moved pretty much all of their devs into Poland. And when we look at the output, it stayed pretty much the same, right? This kind of baseline was 100%. Here was 98%. So it's very, very close, very small drop in productivity. And this is a real world scenario backed up by researchers here at Stanford. If you want to learn more about hiring from Central, Eastern Europe, and also Latin America, let me know in the comments below. If you want to speak to our team and figure out how we could help you if you're a first-time founder or if you're already an established brand, click the link in the description and book a call, and we'd be happy to chat. Thanks so much.